Hey everyone, Adam here, and today I wanted to make a video to explain the aim response curve settings in Call of Duty because there's a lot of misinformation about these settings and what they do. A lot of that is unintentional, but there are some people who will say, use this setting, it gives you more aim assist. Completely untrue. They all have the same amount of aim assist. What they do is they affect how fast your aim is based on how much you're moving your stick. But it's not the entire time. It's a slope. When you start, the setting that you pick will affect it. But when you get to the outside of your stick, like it is now, it's the far edge, all three settings are the same. That's when your sensitivity comes into play. However, how fast your sensitivity is or how slow it is going to affect the initial speed, but they all do the same thing regardless. So even if your sensitivity is super high, it'll affect it in the same way relatively. So let's explain that a little more simply by changing to standard, which is what people will often suggest new players to use. And the reason why they say that is because standard, your input, so what I'm doing now, your initial input is going to be slower. So if I'm doing this, your aiming is going to be slower, and then as you get to the outside, it's going to speed up, and then it's going to normalize to whatever your sensitivity is. And what I said, when this all affects it relatively, if your sensitivity is like moves at a crawl, standard is still going to be slower when you start. It's just going to be really slow. The reason why standard is suggested for new players is because a lot of times new players will have like bad control over their initial aim when they're trying to hit a target. Let's say that's the target. They'll overshoot oftentimes because they don't have fine control. So standard's going to slow it down just a little bit and might help a little bit. So not a bad idea if you're a new player, but if you're a veteran player, try it out. You might like it. Okay, so now let's explain dynamic. We'll do linear last because it's a bit different, but easier to explain. Dynamic, the opposite of standard. Your initial input is going to be faster. And you can probably tell right now, not much of a difference, and that's because the slope is literally from the center of your stick to the edge. Like that's where the entire range of these settings comes into play. When you get to the edge, the settings don't matter anymore. You're at your sensitivity. So dynamic is going to be faster to start, and then it's going to slow down, and then it's going to speed up again, and then normalize to your sensitivity. Now, the reason why a lot of players like this setting is because technically it's faster. Well, and it is faster. It's just subtle. And in a game like modern COD where movement is really big, technically dynamic can get you to the target quicker. So let's say there's a target here, I'm running this way. Dynamic is going to let you turn to them quicker. It's not going to increase your aim assist. The only thing you can sort of maybe say is that because the initial input's faster, you're going to get to the aim assist zone quicker, which is technically true, but it doesn't increase the zone of the aim assist. It doesn't give you stickier aim. It doesn't give you more aim assist. In my opinion, dynamic is a good aim response curve, especially for certain players, but it's not technically better than standard or linear. It's just preference. Now here's linear, and linear is my preference, and I'll explain that why. Linear has no external ramp up or slow down. It is 1-to-1. If you move your stick slowly, your aim is going to be slow. As you speed up, it's going to speed up, and then it's going to get to your max sensitivity. And the reason why I like linear is because the whole way through it's consistent, and it's based purely on the input that I am doing. It's never going to be faster than what I'm putting in. It's never going to be slower. And that example of when dynamic will get you to the target faster, technically true, but if you think about it, the dynamic curve only kicks in at the start where it's faster than what you're inputting, and then it slows down a bit, and then it speeds up again. So there is only a very specific range where dynamic is going to ever be faster than linear to get to a target. Because if I'm here and the target's here, you're going to have to go to the complete outside edge of your aim anyway. So linear is going to get to that max speed basically the same time as dynamic. And then the reason why I like linear the most is because if I'm tracking a target, I'm never going to be undershooting or overshooting based on anything other than my incorrect input. So if my aim is good, if I'm able to track, if I know how fast or slow I need to move the stick, linear is going to be the best option for me. That being said, they're all really subtle differences, but you will feel them. If you play a game of multiplayer with dynamic and then play a game with linear, it might be hard to put into words the difference, but I guarantee you most of you will think it does feel different. And that's when it comes to personal preference. So at least now, hopefully, you guys know what the difference is. That's the main point I'm trying to make, is that at least you can make a decision now knowing what each of them do, knowing that you're not going to get more aim assist for using one setting or another. And, you know, you can pick it based on what you think feels best and you know why it feels different. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. I didn't go super in depth with the setting because it is subtle and I don't want people to get confused by it. I just want people to know the difference between each of them. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try and answer more specifically what a certain thing does if you're a bit confused. But otherwise, like the video if you did, subscribe if you want more controller based videos, maybe more Call of Duty based videos, and I'll see you all in the next one.